Hey Falcons fans! A practice session that started like any other turned into a spectacle of pure intensity, with taunts, decisive plays, shoving, and even a brawl that brought everything to a halt. In the midst of it all, an unexpected protagonist showed a side few knew, revealing a competitive spark capable of changing the entire team's perception. And as the atmosphere heated up, other players took the opportunity to shine and fight for their place, leaving the question in the air. Could we be witnessing the birth of a new identity for the season? Let's discuss everything that happened. So hit that like button and write in the comments, rise up. What happened in Flowery Branch this week wasn't just your typical mid-August joint practice. It was a powdercade waiting to go off. And when it did, Michael Penix Jr. was right in the middle of it. One deep strike downfield to Ray McLeod, a couple of words exchanged, and in seconds, an ordinary practice turned into a full-on, two-field brawl with the Tennessee Titans. Bodies were everywhere, helmets were off, and the Falcons' second-year quarterback, known more for his composure than his trash talk, suddenly showed a side of himself his own teammates joked they hadn't really seen before. Penix later admitted, "They had a lot of words throughout practice, so I gave my words. Just went a little too far. I was somebody else." That's the thing. Nobody's quite sure what was said, but whatever it was, it hit a nerve. The celebration after that perfectly placed deep ball clearly didn't sit well with the Titans, and just like that, the fight was on. Drake London was the first one sprinting to his quarterback's defense, and soon the rest of the Falcons piled in. It wasn't just a scuffle, it was an all-out show of solidarity. Helmets popped off, players got tangled up, and it took several minutes to restore order. Penix didn't forget to point out afterward what that meant to him. That's what it's about. Protecting your brothers. I grew up with two little brothers. I always had to protect them. They know I'm there if they need me. Drake and the rest of the guys, they felt I needed them, and they came. We've got each other's backs. Ride with each other, right or wrong. That's what it's about. And while the fight might have been the headline moment, the very next snap nearly brought another one. Right tackle Kaleb McGary got right into the face of Titans linebacker Oluwafemi Aladejo, losing his helmet in the process, but that one fizzled before punches could fly. The whole thing gave fans and teammates a rare glimpse of Penix's edge, what linebacker Caden Ellis called competitive greatness. Ellis explained it like this: guys got it or they don't. When you see that edge come out for whatever reason, whatever struck that chord in them, it just solidifies everything else you ever think about. It's not that Penix is suddenly a fighter, it's that when the moment came, he didn't back down, and in the NFL, that earns you a lot of respect in your own locker room. Penix, smiling afterward, reminded everyone, they probably don't look at me like that. But I'm from Tampa. Dade City. A little reminder that the cool, calculated quarterback can still turn up the fire when needed. And yet, this week wasn't all about the fight. Joint practices also gave Raheem Morris and his staff a chance to scout Titans rookie quarterback Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Morris didn't hold back on his praise, fearless. I love his attitude. I love his work. He's brand new, learning his offense, figuring out the windows, but he's got a lot of confidence in his arm. They've got a bright future with that young man. Ward was one of the few in what scouts called a weak 2025 quarterback class who stood out as a sure thing, and his debut against the Buccaneers, 5 of 8 for 67 yards, only reinforced that belief. Still, for fans hoping to see Penix and Ward face off Friday in preseason week 2, Morris made it clear Penix probably won't play, just like Kirk Cousins sat out all last preseason. While the quarterbacks drew the spotlight, some of the Falcons made noise this week. Nickel corner D. Alford stood out in a fierce position battle, snagging an interception late in practice after sticking with Titans receivers all day. Calvin Ridley, back in Flowery Branch for the first time since 2022, brought his own spark, trading words with A.J. Terrell Jr., scoring on him in a long touchdown, and making sure everyone in the building knew about it. Then there's Casey Washington, the second-year receiver stepping up in Darnell Mooney's absence. His connection with Penix goes back to last summer, running extra walkthroughs in the parking lot. Now, with Mooney sidelined, Washington has a golden chance to lock down a roster spot, and the way he's playing, he's making a strong case. The fight, the fire, the rivalries, the breakout performances, this week had everything you could want in training camp drama. But the biggest question now is how it all carries into Friday night's matchup at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Will this newfound edge in Penix and the unity the team showed in that melee be a sign of the Falcons' identity this season? Or was it just a one-off burst of preseason emotion? Falcons fans, what's your take? Was this the kind of moment that can bond a team for the season ahead? Write in the comments. If Wednesday's practice told us anything, it's that the Falcons aren't going to be the kind of team that quietly takes whatever comes their way. That brawl with the Titans didn't just happen out of nowhere. It was the result of hours of chippy play, hard hits, and constant talking from both sides. By the time Penix launched that deep ball to Ray McCloud, the atmosphere was already electric, and the celebration was the spark that set it off. You could almost feel the tension break when bodies started flying across both practice fields. For the fans who've been wondering how this team will handle adversity, the answer came loud and clear: together. And the message didn't just come from the players, it was reflected in the way Raheem Morris spoke afterward. He didn't condemn the passion, he praised the unity. In his first year as head coach, Morris is trying to build a roster that believes in having each other's backs in every situation, and moments like this, even if they get a little heated, can forge the kind of chemistry that lasts deep into the season. You could see it on the field, too. Drake London's immediate sprint into the scrum, Kaleb McGary standing up to a linebacker right after the dust settled. It wasn't about reckless aggression, it was about sending a message that no one messes with their guys without an answer. Meanwhile, competition across the roster continues to shape this team's identity. D. Alford's standout performance in the nickel battle shows that defensive intensity is just as fierce as what we saw on the offensive side. His ability to read plays and position himself for that interception on Cam Ward wasn't just luck, it was the kind of preparation and awareness that coaches love heading into a season where defensive depth will be tested. And speaking of tests, Calvin Ridley's return to Flowery Branch brought a different kind of energy. The former Falcon still has that chip on his shoulder, and while his verbal sparring with A.J. Terrell Jr. made for some tense moments, it also showed that high-level competition brings out the best in elite players. Ridley's long touchdown over Terrell wasn't just about skill, it was about making a statement, something the Falcons' current receivers no doubt noticed. But maybe the most important development this week is Casey Washington's rise. In the absence of Darnell Mooney, he's been making the most of every rep, and his chemistry with Penix, built through countless extra sessions away from the spotlight, is now paying dividends. His ability to haul in anything thrown his way, combined with that existing trust from his quarterback, could be exactly what secures him a key role on the 53-man roster. Raheem Morris isn't hiding his admiration for the battle in the receiver room, and right now, Washington is winning it. So when the Falcons take the field against the Titans on Friday night, the score might not be what matters most. What matters is whether this team can carry that unity, competitive fire, and emerging talent into game situations. We've seen what they'll do for each other in the heat of a practice fight. Now it's time to see how that translates when the lights come on. Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. Do you think this kind of moment is exactly what the team needed heading into the season, or is it just a preseason flash in the pan? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay informed. Go Falcons!